Hello and welcome, I'm your Kudmaki. Here is what I don't want to happen to you. This is a very important topic. I really hope you'll listen to my advice. And like I wrote here, so I often give the advice of make small games for many reasons. One is how small games are excellent for learning quickly. You will learn a lot more by making 10 games rather than just one massive game. This alone would be a great thing to just make the advice of make small games work, just because we all have limited time. So if you've got a strategy that allows you to learn literally 10 times more in the same time frame as opposed to this strategy, then that seems to me like a very clear win. Especially if you are a beginner still very much on the learning stage where you still have so much to learn. If you take this approach, you won't be able to basically become an experienced dev in a few months, as opposed to if you take the massive route, where it will take you possibly years to become an experienced dev. But that's just one of the reasons why small games are awesome. Like I said here, so they are also great for finding success, since the game idea itself is one of the biggest factors in a game's success. And if you try out 10 ideas, you have better odds of hitting a home run as opposed to just one shot. This is another very crucial point. On Steam, one of the better ways to find success is really just having a clever idea. Obviously, execution matters quite a lot, but everything starts from an idea. If you have a super basic idea like, let's make a Flappy Bird clone, it doesn't really matter how good your execution is, because the execution is really just a multiplier on the idea. But if you have a great idea and great execution, that is basically how you come up with something like Balatro. So small games are also great because of this. Because if you make more games, that simply means you can try out more ideas. And out of those, really just statistically speaking, some won't be very good and some won't be great. But in terms of statistics, the more times you get a shot on goal, the more odds you actually have of one of those going through. So small games are excellent, but most of all, I really don't want you to spend 5 years working on the game with hopes of finding success, only to then launch it and have that game sell literally a dozen copies, just like what happened with this developer. So here's a very detailed post on Reddit saying, after 5 years of development, I released my indie RPG. It went poorly, and here's the breakdown. And poorly, yeah, that's definitely an understatement. So this developer says, I spent 5 years developing Sacred Earth. And then down here for the revenue, so basically after all of that, $1.2 thousand. So 1200 divided by 5, that equals to about $240 per year of work. Divided by 12, that's $20 per month. And divided by 160, that equals about 12 cents per hour. So in terms of finances, obviously that is not ideal. Although thankfully, the developer is actually okay with this result. When asked about do you regret making this game, he says, nope, I did not regret making it at all. He says that this game taught him quite a lot, and how he's basically going to keep creating. So that's awesome, that's a great takeaway. It is very important that if, or more accurately when, you actually have a failed game, that you actually take some time to analyze what went wrong and how you can improve things in the future, to improve your odds of actually finding success. And this developer thankfully did do that. They did quite an interesting analysis on what might have gone wrong with this project and how their next projects might be a little bit better. Thankfully, there was also quite a lot of discussion, so the comments are also very interesting. Basically, here's the game. It is called Sacred Earth Reverie, and yep, right now it has 13 reviews. And this is a JRPG, visual novel, anime, fantasy, turn-based contact. Like I wrote here, so there's some very accurate self-reflection in the post for what caused this game to fail. The genre mix, which is JRPG plus visual novel, which makes it insanely niche, plus the lack of a unique compelling hook. So this goes back to what I was talking about, how testing out different ideas. And if your game idea is literally just mixing two genres just by itself, chances are that is not enough. Especially if those things, instead of making it more interesting, just makes it even more niche. JRPG plus visual novel, that is definitely a rough one. In terms of total addressable market, I would call that extremely niche. Which obviously, if your goal is to find success, going for something so insanely niche is usually not a very good approach. And that is because, just like I wrote here, so the dev mentions how they did everything in their power to do marketing, but nothing worked. How it was a slow crawl to build mild interest. And basically, that should have been a big warning sign to not spend such a long time on a game idea that was clearly not appealing to players. This is a very important step, and this is also why my advice, and the advice from pretty much any experienced developer, is to make sure you talk about your game constantly, because you never want to get stuck in a point where you are working on your game for multiple years without even knowing, will anyone actually want to play this? Now, thankfully, if you take my other advice of make small games, where you spend only like 3 to 6 months on one game, even if you make this mistake, you won't lose out on 6 months, as opposed to what this developer did, which is they apparently made this mistake and made this mistake constantly, which is talking about the game and seeing that marketing was insanely difficult. That really should be a hint, okay, things are not working out well, so I will either pivot to something else, or just launch this one quickly and move on to the next idea. That is usually what you should do, as opposed to what this developer did, which is seeing how there's very little interest for the game, marketing is very difficult, but let me continue working on this for multiple years on end. Hopefully, something eventually will one day change, but the reality is, nope, it did not change, usually does not change. However, the good news is that the developer only seems mildly disappointed the game did not sell. It does not seem like they're going to go bankrupt and homeless. That's awesome, that's great. That is always the thing that I look for whenever I see these posts about my game failed. I always quickly jump to the end just to make sure there's at least a mild positive outcome to this story. If you learn a lot from a failed project, then I would not call that a failed project. Hopefully you managed to learn without having to spend a massive 5-year journey to learn that. But still, the important thing is that you actually learn in the end, so in the future things are quite a bit better. But whenever I read these posts, I'm always concerned that at the end it's going to be, okay, I was broke and homeless and I'm writing this from a cyber cafe because I have no home. I'm always scared to read that. So like I said in the beginning of this video, there's very much what I don't want to happen to you. Like I wrote here, so like I always say, you should make small games and pick a good marketable idea if your goal is financial success. But if you're making things just for fun, then there are no rules, just make whatever you want to make. But at the same time, don't lie to yourself and say you're making something just for fun while secretly hoping for 1,000,000 copies sold. This goes back to something that I've mentioned quite a few times, which is how you have to define for yourself what counts as success. And sure, perhaps just making a game, just launching a game, that's your success. And if so, that's fine, that's awesome. If that's your case, you don't have to worry about marketing, picking a marketable idea, none of that. If you just want to make something just for the pleasure of it, if so, that's fine, do whatever you want. If you want to make a 2D puzzle platformer, that's fine. But if you do go that route, make sure you know to yourself that you are going that route. Make sure you are not lying to yourself. Don't tell yourself, okay, I'm making something just for fun, I'm going to make a 2D puzzle platformer, but secretly behind your head you're actually hoping that you're making the next Hollow Knight, because chances are that will not happen. And if you lie to yourself, you're really just guaranteeing you're going to be disappointed. So do make sure you clarify what success means to you. And if that's the goal and if you have a failed project, then at least try your best to learn something from that project. Whereas over here, this developer thankfully did quite a pretty detailed analysis in trying to understand why this game failed. However, down here on the what's next section, there is definitely something missing. It's what I wrote here, so however, in the what's next section of the post, the developer does not mention the most important lesson of all, which is don't spend 5 years working on your next game. This really is the crucial point. I know everybody loves stories of something like Stardew Valley, where basically a solo developer worked on it nonstop for like 5 years, 7 years, something like that, and in the end made basically a cultural phenomenon, made a game that completely changed the game industry by itself. I know a lot of people look at this and they see that is a real awesome story, and it is an awesome story, but it's a very, very rare story, so you always gotta be very careful with survivorship bias. Just because one game actually made it, that does not mean it is a good strategy. When you look at Stardew Valley, that is awesome, this game is awesome, but you are not seeing all the other hundreds or maybe thousands of developers that work on their games for 5 years, and in the end they end up with these results instead. So like I wrote here, I constantly give the advice of don't spend 5 years working on your next game, because I really don't want this to happen to you. Even if you're making games just for fun, it is sad and frustrating to work so long on something you're really passionate about, and in the end realize that no one cares. If you're really going to go down the road, then at least try to limit your scope. I imagine this release would not have hurt as much if it was a 6-month project. So yep, it all goes back to my advice of make small games. They are so much better in so many different cases. They're great for learning, they're great for testing out ideas, they're great for finding better odds of success, and they're great for even when you get a failure, it doesn't hurt as much to lose 6 months as opposed to 6 years. So hopefully you'll listen to my advice because I don't want this to happen to you. By the way, I wrote about this in my Game Dev Report newsletter. This is what I write every single week with the latest game dev news and any interesting articles that I come across every single week. There's a new issue published every Sunday. You can sign up for free, so check it out through the link in the description. Alright, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.